So tribe, welcome back to my channel. My name is Keisha, and here on this channel I love to deliver healing messages through tarot. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Whenever this message reaches you, hello. Whew. All right, so let's get into like a little bit of, I like a little chit chat. Let's get into like a little chit chat. A little updates. I have officially have a hoodoo apprenticeship. I have a hoodoo teacher. I don't know, I've always been drawn to mystical and magical and witches and mediums. I've always been drawn to that stuff my whole life, but it's not a practice that my family did. So, I mean, my family didn't have a lot of practices, but it's not a practice or a tradition that was passed down through my family line, and it's something that I'm really excited to start. The person who's teaching me is extremely, and I guess that's how you want it to be. It's going to take like a lot of dedication, but I'm excited to start. My apprenticeship is for 6 months. I got a full-blown syllabus. I have about 10 books that I have to read, which is interesting. I can't remember the last time like I had to read a book. I have tons of them. I get through them and I pick through them, but this time is like I'm gonna have to fully be able to read them and then articulate it back to my teacher. I'm very excited to have some kind of structure. I'm very nervous to have this kind of strict structure. I was a person growing up who like hated school, and my mother had all these weird, disgusting rules that basically only like benefited her. So I have a hard time with being structured and not feeling restricted and getting over that that hump or that trigger. But I think this is very good and very exciting, and I'm ready, and I can't wait to learn what I'm going to learn. I want to be able to do magic. I mean, this is magic too. This is definitely absolutely tarot's 150,000% magic. But I'm ready to connect with my ancestors. I'm ready to connect with the methods and the magic and the herbs and the history of what my ancestors used to use and what I felt connected to my entire life, but maybe didn't have the words or couldn't find it. All right, that's my little update. Now let's get into this pick a card topic. I am not 100% sure what this pick a card topic is going to come out as. I was watching one of my favorite channels, especially when I started my healing journey, and I'll link the video down below, but I was watching one of my favorite channels, which is the School of Life, and they had a video, and it was just like a comforting video for anybody who's going through a heartbreak. So I'm calling this video Heartbreak Therapy, right? The video just gave so much permission. The video gave so much permission and what you can or allowed to do when you're going through heartbreak. And I found it very, very comforting. So I'm not 100% sure what's going to come out in these messages, but if you have been through a heartbreak, and we're not just talking about love is definitely part of it, but if you've been through a heartbreak, if you lost a friend, a family member, a lover, I don't know, a co-worker, anyone who recently that you could say broke your heart and gave you that pain and that grief, because getting hurt is a very powerful energy. It's a very heavy energy, And sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel and go through everything. And sometimes you just need that permission, or you just need that validation, or maybe sometimes you just need advice and medicine. I don't know what the hell is going to come up, but this is heartbreak therapy, and we're going to, I don't know, take a look in the situation, see where you might be at, give you some permission to feel some stuff, and then hopefully give you some medicine at the end of this. We're not going to judge or shame the messages that come through. We're just having a simple conversation. Like I said, I have no idea what's going to come up. I'm excited for it, but I have 3 piles for you. And this is pile 1. And this is the Forget-Me-Not flowers. So I'll put this right here so you can see the full card. This is pile 2, and I believe this is Green Adventure. And I'll put that right there so you can see the full card. And this is pile number 3, and these are little rosebuds. And I'll put that right there so you can see the card. You could choose off the bottle or the cards. It's up to you, wherever your intuition is drawn to. Take a few deep breaths if you have to. Pause the video, take a drink, and I will see you at your pile selection. All right, pile number 1, if you were drawn to this beautiful card, or the Forget-Me-Not flowers in this pile for you, I'll put that right there. And let's flip over the card. Let's see what it says. Like I said, I have no idea what messages is going to come through. And let's get you a little therapy for your heartbreak. These are emotion cards, and I'm just going to read what's on the card at first. So we have sadness. Okay, during the Renaissance, a familiarity with gloom was thought of as a lesson in resilience. There was even a self-help book, The Castle of Hell, written by Thomas Elord in 1534, that suggested reasons to be more sad. Such a suggestion is unlikely to sell in our happiness-obsessed self-help industry today. But perhaps the idea that we might have to learn the art of sadness is still resonant. With authors Alan Hesselwood and Jerome Wakefield discussed the widely acknowledged epidemic of depression. Though depression is certainly a real and serious illness, they suggest that in some cases, ordinary sadness is being misdiagnosed as major depressive disorders. Others have also recognized the danger of seeing sadness as a problem to be medicated away, as this might leave us poorly equipped to manage in the future. For the psychotherapist, it sends a message that pain can't be borne, lived through, and tolerated, robbing us of an ability to recognize sorrow as an enriching part of life. Sadness is the process through which we adjust to a new version of ourselves after loss or disappointment. It protects us and gives us strength. As known as during the Renaissance, if we see sadness as an unfamiliar creature, we will be less resilient to it and more vulnerable to its more serious manifestations. Okay, pile number 1, sadness. Let's put this right here. So, as part of your heartbreak therapy, it's time for you to allow yourself to feel the sadness. It's time to allow yourself to feel the sadness. It feels like maybe you've been trying to avoid the overall sadness of your heartbreak. Maybe you're a person that comes more so from a logical standpoint. I'm not sure what happened in your heartbreak or who broke your heart, but I feel like you're handling it from like a logical perspective. Like, let me give you a good example. So say this is a lover, and you and this lover have not been getting along for months now, right? And maybe you even the one who initiated the breakup, and you're just like, I can't do this no more, or this is not working out. I love you, but we're not getting along. This is not progressing the way that I thought it was going to progress. Like, I always love you, this is where I have to go, right? Kind of way. And then say you broke up with the person and everything was amicable, and then blah, blah, blah. And now you're sitting with it, and you're like, well, why am I sad? This was ending. I knew this was ending. I'm the one who ended it. I'm not saying this is your scenario, but this is just my metaphor again. And you're like, well, I'm the one who ended it. It wasn't really going anywhere, or something bad happened. I'm actually in a better space than I am now. So what is this sadness? I see you analyzing it and trying to be extremely logical with it. But sadness is not something to be locked up or explained away. Sadness is not something to be ashamed about. Look, the Ace of Swords dropped out. Ace of Swords. Sadness is not something to be explained away. It's not something to be locked up. It's not something to be ashamed about. Look, you have a lot of, hold on. Bear with me, please. Okay, look at this. We have Ace of Swords, Seven of Wands, and then Knight of Swords, right? So you feel like a very logical person. You like to cut through the bullshit. You like to get shit done. Emotions to you probably come off as something like, I don't know, messy. And you realize that you have them, but you don't really let them rule your world, right? I see you looking at other people who react and make choices based off their emotions, like, oh, what is going on? Calm down. And you logically get through stuff. But here's the thing about feelings. Your feelings don't care about your logic. Feelings don't care about your logic. Feelings don't care about you wanting to move on, or what's the adult thing to do, or what's the proper thing to do, or how it looks to the other person, or what version of it you think is in your healing, or if you're entitled or you should feel like that. Feelings don't work like that. Feelings represent water because it takes the vessel of whatever it's in. So it could be wide, deep, shallow. It's going to take the vessel. It's going to take the shape of whatever the vessel that it's in. So you avoiding sadness is not like the adult proper thing to do. You're robbing yourself. You're robbing yourself. And maybe you don't even know how to tap into your sadness. Maybe you feel it coming up, and the first thing you want to do is be able to like move on, distract yourself. I don't know, get a project. Whatever you do not do, whatever some of the practices you do not to feel it. But right now, in order for you to move on from your heartbreak, it is requiring you to actually feel that sadness. Yes, it is so sad to lose somebody. It hurts. It is sad to love and lose somebody. You're entitled to be sad. It's not a weakness. I feel like I hear sadness is a weakness. It's not a weakness. Our feelings is information, right? So if this helps you, someone who don't like really tapping into their emotions, right? You seem like someone who likes to progress. You're someone to move forward. Someone who takes their duties and whatever they have to do very serious. It feels like you took this relationship also very serious too. It feels like you took the breakup very serious as well. So I think the way for you to explore your sadness is to let yourself feel it, because there's information in your feelings. There's information for you buried in this sadness. But if you don't go through it, then you're not going to be able to get the information that the sadness is trying to give you. Feeling your feelings is also part of your journey. To love someone, to open up your heart, to fantasize, right? No matter what. And it don't have to be a romantic relationship. Like I said, this could have been a friendship. It could have been a work. It could have been a friendship. It could have been a work partner. It could have been an acquaintance. It could have been a family member. It could have been whatever. Someone that you had to recently cut ties or left. Even if that person died, right? And you're like, oh, I know they died, or maybe they were sick for a while. But anyway, there is some information in your sadness. There is knowledge in your sadness. There is energy in your sadness. Like, it's not weakness, it's part of the journey. I'm going to do a sacred self-care card. Alright, we have spend time with animals. I like that one for you. And then I want to see some more of your medicine. Alright. So it has been on 9 of Swords. Okay. You 10 of Cups. 2 of Wands. All right, so you have been feeling this. You have been feeling this. You have been feeling this. Okay. You have been feeling this. You just been pushing it down with logic. Spend time with animals. Here's your medicine, pile 1. Here's your medicine. You have to be a little bit less controlled. See, spend time with animals. Animals have like this inner knowing and instinct, and they have what's called like a collective consciousness, right? So they move around nature, getting there, I don't know, picking up their stuff. You ever watch like bunnies or birds and stuff? It's just like so natural to them. There's a way that animals can help you, I don't know, get into the natural flow of your feelings. Do you have a pet or a dog or something? I need you to go into nature and speak to the animals. I need you to go in nature. This sounds weird. I need you to go outside and talk to the animals. I don't feel like you're the kind of person who is gonna call like one of your friends or something and just spew all these emotional stuff that's going on with you that you don't understand. I think you need to go outside and talk to an animal. I don't know if it's a dog, it's a cat. If you have a dog, if you have a cat, if you have some bunnies, if you have some squirrels, if you have some birds, go to the park and look at the animal that you're talking to, and all the things that you feel is too messy to come out for you to share with people, you need to go share it with animals. You need to go share it with nature. I need you to go sit in a park, and I need you to just express yourself, and whatever comes out, it's not wrong. Express yourself. There's some repent stuff. There's some built up stuff here. And it's not just the sadness, it's other emotions too. And I think you're scared to like take the cork off the lid because you've probably been stuffing a lot of stuff down. I feel sadness. I feel guilt. I feel, of course, When you lose someone, there's grief, resentment, shame just came up. I feel a little bit of loneliness. So there's a lot of emotions in this sadness, and maybe you don't, a person that doesn't want to talk to nobody, that's fine. Or that's fine. We're not here to fix that right now. We're here to help you be able to feel the sadness. Go into nature. Go outside. I don't care if you have to talk. Go talk to a tree. Go talk to a tree. Drive 30, 40 minutes outside of your town if you don't want nobody to see you. Take a glass of water. Take a bottle of water. Go for a little hike and talk out loud, not in your head, out of your head. These swords and these wands, out of your head. These wands tell me that you need to be also doing something. So go for a hike. Go for a hike and just talk. Talk through what you've been through. Talk what you might have felt. Get mad, get angry, throw your fist, but feel your feelings. This is your therapy. This is what's going to help you move forward. Like the release you're going to have from allowing yourself just to say what you feel like you have to say. And also, Pile 1, it may help if you make this a little bit of a habit. Maybe on the way to work, instead of listening to music or a podcast or talking to a friend, maybe you're just talking out loud to yourself. I would say write a letter, but I feel like you have to be doing something in order for it to do it. And nothing's wrong with that. But you're in the part of your heartbreak. This is your heartbreak therapy message. It's time to feel that sadness. It doesn't want to be ignored anymore. It's probably coming out in other ways and you don't even know. You're probably losing your patience or losing focus, and you don't even realize it. It's leaking out in different ways that you don't even understand where it's leaking out, but it's coming from this blockage of feeling this sadness. All right, Pile 1. Heartbreaks aren't easy. They ain't easy. Mourning people who are still alive is not easy. I wish you the best of luck. All your feelings are valid. I'm so sorry for your loss. You will get through this, and your feelings aren't weakness. And I wish you the best of luck. Okay, thank you for trusting me to read. Hello, Pile number 2. If you were drawn to, which I believe is Green Adventuring, I gotta do better. Or this beautiful card, then this pile is for you. This is my lovely emotions deck, and I'm just gonna read the emotion that comes up, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we have guilt. All right, guilt is a ghoulish sort of queasy sensation which keeps reappearing. We can speak of feelings. We can speak of feeling guilty, yet in the same breath we imply we've done nothing wrong. Some people take too little responsibility, others take too much. The phrase of having a guilt complex became voguish diagnosis in the early 20th century. As a psychotherapist, Alfred Adler put it in 1927, the guilt complex is a combination of self-accusations and repentance, which strives for superiority on the useless side of life. Even guilt itself, which is whirling obsession with self-punishment and blame, was a kind of avoidance. We feel guilty instead of doing what we know we ought to. The Aldrin version of guilt has been very influential in the modern self-help movement, in which guilt is seen to be the enemy of productivity and personal fulfillment. Most of us find ourselves stuck in unmanageable conversations with ourselves. Was it our fault or theirs? Should we take more responsibility or less? The truth usually lies somewhere in between. It's less of a question of making the guilt vanish than adjusting to its background hum. It's less of a question of making the guilt vanish than adjusting to its background hum. Guilt. Let's go a little bit further with some of these tarot cards. So I'm getting your therapy. I'm getting you're feeling guilty even though you wasn't the cause. You're feeling guilty even though you wasn't the cause. And I'm going to let the tarot come out and speak a little bit more on but that's coming up for me. I don't know why. You're feeling guilty even though you wasn't the cause. Let's pull some cards. Pile number 2. This is interesting. For pile number 2. Don't be shy now. That, you know what? And then you get what you asked for. I saw the Death card. So something was definitely over. Something was definitely over. Something ran its cycle. Something ran its course. And it was definitely over. But yet, you're holding the guilt. Okay. Okay, pile number 2. And if you are on my channel and you are coming here for health and medicine, then I know this. Ready? You are a chronic self-blamer. You are a chronic self-blamer. And I'm not talking about like light, oh, this is my, you are a chronic self-blamer. To the point where it's probably if you sit down and you have therapy and you go over cognitive distortions, I'm pretty sure self-blame is one of yours. You're a chronic self-blamer. Here is your therapy. Guilt is a useless emotion, especially when you took yourself out of unfavorable situations. You hold yourself to a really ridiculously high moral standards, and I'm pretty sure you never want to hurt nobody or step out of line and cause anybody pain. But maybe some of the methods that you had to use to get out of this was not ones you would have used. I'm getting ringing. Wherever this heartbreak is, and it could be a friend, it could be a romantic partner, it could be a family member, it could be a co-worker. Whatever the situation that caused you this heartbreak, it ran its course. You did everything that you could do to keep it alive, but it was time. It was time. It was time. We have Death, 3 of Wands, and the Justice cards here. You outgrew the situation that you were in. You outgrew the situation you were in. When you were growing up and you were a kid and you outgrew your shoes, do you ever get mad at yourself for not being able to, for outgrowing your shoes or your clothes? Guilt. What is the guilt surrounding Spirit? You're not weak. Oh, come on. No, you're not meant to just endure, put up with it. You're not meant to just do that. You're not meant to do that. Ooh. I have anxiety, worry, fear. No. You're not meant to just put up and endure and be an example of something that could last longer. Yeah, you unstuck yourself. You was stuck. That situation in page 1's in the back of the deck. That's time to come out. Okay. Let's help relieve some of this guilty feeling around your situation. All right. I feel that you was in a situation that you were kind of stuck in, right? And whether it was you keeping you stuck or the other person helping you keep you stuck, or circumstances or situations that were keeping you stuck, it doesn't matter. You're in a situation where you were maybe forced to have to like work with someone, and I feel like you were constantly giving, or you were constantly like trying to find a balance or trying to be fair in a situation with the person who was not playing that same exact game. And I feel like you gave, I feel like you compromised, I feel like you tried to balance until this death card came, and it was no longer undeniable. It was no longer undeniable. And you were strong. But strength is not in you. The strength did not come from you enduring and putting up with. And the strength didn't even necessarily come from all the hard work you had to do to get out of it. The strength comes from the moment you decided that it wasn't for you and that you deserved and you wanted better for yourself. Regardless of how trapped you thought you felt. It was time. You put all the energy, all the effort into this situation as much as you could, and you did your best, and your best was enough. What is this guilt feeling? Is this person down bad now? Are you up good and they down bad and you're looking down? Are you still in contact and they want to make you feel bad? Cut the cord. Cut the cord. Cut the cord. You might need a cord cutting ritual. You might need a burning ritual. You might need to put their name and their birth date and fold it up in a bowl and burn it and then throw that and then flush that shit down the toilet. I saw a dance in here. Yeah. You're self-blame, like I said, it feels like a cognitive distortion, but you're not to blame. You're not to blame. And of course, it takes two to tangle. So I'm not saying like, oh my God, like you're just so innocent and so good and so fantastic, and this person is I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying like there's just an unproportioned amount in which you have given yourself the responsibility or the burden of this relationship. It feels like whatever this situation was, you were carrying it. Let's see what this alone time says. Yeah, you need alone time because you're probably an absorber of energy. You probably could read a room. You probably love helping people. And that shit gets tiring. And you probably left this cycle and it's time for you to spend time by yourself. It's time for you to enjoy yourself. It's time for all that healing and effort that you put into this situation to put in something for yourself. And that's also why the feelings of guilt might be coming up too. Guilt also because maybe you put so much energy, so much time into this and not into like yourself, and maybe you're finding yourself in a situation where you feel behind or maybe stuck in a different way. I like when that thing said guilt comes from the things we feel like we ought to do. So what are some things that you wanted to do just for yourself? Look at these cards. These cards are there's an ant. Oh, I gotta take it outside. I'm being like so good now. Thank you, Paul, too. As I'm getting more into like spiritual stuff, I just don't feel right. Back to your reading. Yeah, anyway, like I said, I like that this card had the that guilt for what you ought to do. So what is something that you've been wanting to do for yourself? These cards are all, you have alone time, and then you have all these cards without another single person in it. So the focus and the energy that you have put into this situation, into this person, into what you thought this was going to develop, it's time to pour back into yourself. You give yourself that same effort. Give yourself that same dedication. Instead of dwelling on the past. So your guilt is a double-edged sword here, right? Because now if you were codependent in a situation, which it felt like you were, and you were the helper and you like to be relied upon, right? Fine. We all have our shit. That's not what we're here for, right? We're here to help you with this heartbreak. So if that was it, of course you might be feeling a little bit guilty about the things that you want to give yourself that you cannot give to yourself. And that's absolutely fucking normal. But what you got to do is cut the nasty guilt of like tying back to this person, because it's draining, it's taking your energy, and it's taking away from the things that you want to pour into yourself. So while you physically left the situation, there's an energetic cord that must be cut, and the way that you have to shift the energy, right? So the energy was flowing to this person for however long you was in this situation. It was flowing, right? And then you cut it off, but you didn't really cut it off, right? It's still leaking through. Now you have energy doesn't die. Now you have to direct it towards yourself. And maybe that's not as easy as it was, and to build it into this, right? And that's fine. You do it step by step, bit by bit, time by time. Your guilt is a double-edged sword. Next time you feel guilty about something, there's no cups here, right? No, there's no cups here. So this is not an emotional thing. I feel like emotionally, I don't feel like you're down bad, sad, crying. Like, I don't feel like you're emotionally unstable. This is a mental thing. And this is a redirect your energy thing. Your therapy is to redirect that energy back into yourself constantly, always find a way. I don't know what it is that you've been wanting to pour back into. Maybe you want to pick up a new skill, maybe you wanted to study something, maybe you wanted to trip, maybe you wanted to buy something, maybe there's a place that you wanted to go. It has to come back, start flowing it back to you bit by bit. And it doesn't mean you're never going to not feel these feelings, but when it's coming up, don't get into the mental part of ruminating over it. Have your moment, see what it's trying to tell you, bring it back to yourself. You are the most important person. Okay, pile number 2, that's what I see for you. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel. Thank you for trusting me to read for you. I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry for your heartbreak. You know, mourning people that are still alive is very hard. And I'm gonna give you a little confession here at the end. This one's also definitely my pile. So I F with you. Pile number 2 on a whole nother level is I get it. I get it. I get it. And even going through this reading, I've been realizing that there are things that I also wanted to do and wanted to accomplish, like even with this YouTube channel, and then I get distracted and I sit with the guilt of it. And I don't know, maybe it's just a feeling that I'm used to feeling, that's feeling guilty about not doing it feels safer than the fear of actually having to go ahead and do it. And that's a realization that I just had and I'm uncomfortable with. But thank you for allowing me to share it for you. I don't mean to impede on your reading. Thank you for clicking my channel. Thank you for trusting me to read for you. And I'll see you next time, hopefully. Hello, pile number 3. If you were drawn to these rosebud, why am I shaking it? These rosebuds or this card, then this is the pile for you. It's a beautiful card. This is my box of emotion card. This deck was, I didn't even tell, maybe there's an intro story, but I could tell you. I had a doctor's visit and I scheduled it in the wrong place. And it was 30 minutes from my house and I couldn't cancel it. But by the time I found out where I scheduled that, I thought I was scheduling it 10 minutes from my house, and it was 30 minutes from my house. And by the time I realized it, it was too late to reschedule, to cancel and reschedule an appointment elsewhere. So I just went and took it. But there was a store that I used to go to called Half Price Bucks, and something was calling me to go there, calling me. And when I got there, this deck was here, and I've never seen it before, and I think it's a beautiful deck. And that's my story. So let's get on. Sorry. Hopefulness. All right. When sociologist Barbara, I'm not saying that last name, I'm not going to try, was diagnosed with breast cancer, she was surprised on how concise she found the instinct to keep optimistic. Her subsequent account, Smile or Die, describes a positive psychological movement which insists on a link between a positive attitude and improved well-being, has co-opted hope. Can hope really press back the march of cancerous cells? There's probably no harm in finding out, except that she also cites a 2004 study which suggests that continually looking on the bright side of a cancer diagnosis did not always help patients. A hopeful outlook might make life easier for carers and family members, but many of the patients themselves found alienating, even guilt-inducing, and prevented them from acknowledging and expressing fear and anger they also felt. The idea that hope can be manufactured at will seems at odds with what hopefulness so often feels like. With this flickering promise of a happier ending, it is a glimpse of relief in a desperate situation. When we have reached the end of all that we might practically do, we know hope might leave us feeling cheated and let down by this vulnerability is also a strength. To feel hope is to acknowledge how little control we often have. Hopefulness, hopefulness, hopefulness. The birds are waking up now. They've come in to join our meeting, our reading. They're loud as shit. Hopefulness, pile 3. What is your heartbreak therapy? Now, I can't tell if you need hopefulness or are you using hopefulness like as that mask. But let's get into it. Hopefulness, hopefulness, hopefulness. What is your heartbreak therapy? I'm getting pile number 3. I'm getting a little bit of everything is going to be all right. Everything is fine. Everything is good. Everything is fine. Everything's going to be all right. Everything is good. Everything is fine. I'm seeing that meme with the dog and it's like a fire, and he's just like I think he's like holding the mug or something. He's like, everything is fine. That's the feeling I'm getting. I don't know. I feel like you're weaponizing being hopeful. But let's see what the tarot has to say. What's your tarot pile number? Judgment. Alright. Oh. That was disrespectful. Okay. 8 of Pentacles. Knight of Swords. Page of Swords. Okay, pile number 3. Okay, so I feel like in your heartbreak situation, you might have caused some pain. I'm not gonna lie, I'll tell you what I see. You might have caused some pain, and you're using this hopefulness as a mask to not maybe have to sit down and deal with some of the more difficult emotions or the consequences that come behind hurting somebody. We have the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords here. Judgment in reverse, 8 of Pentacles, right? I think you're trying to paint over the past with a different kind of lens. So this is just an example. Once again, this heartbreak could be, and just because you may have been maybe you could have been, because you would have been, I don't want to say guilty, it feels nasty, but maybe because you are the party or the person who maybe caused the hurt or the breakdown of whatever relationship this is, friend, family, co-worker, lover, whoever, because you played a strong part in the breakdown of this relationship, you're still entitled to feel all the feelings and to go through all the motions of a normal breakup. So it's just an example. So say you was in a relationship and say you cheated on your significant other and then they found out, right? And then now you're just like, well, maybe I'll find someone who's better now, and that person's gonna find someone who's better, and it just didn't work out, and we're both gonna move forward, and you just like giving, that's the example that I'm just throwing out there, and it's just given into like this toxic positive outlook instead of like really like sitting with the damage, instead of just sitting with the damage, with the hurt. Like, you're still entitled to feel the grief, you're still entitled to feel the sadness and the loneliness. Like, I don't know if you're giving yourself permission to go through some of those deep feelings because you feel like the guilty party. So you just go into like this like everything's going to be fine, everything's going to be all right, everything's going to be cool, everything is chill, like, but you're not allowing yourself to like feel the feelings, or you're telling yourself like you shouldn't even have those feelings, or when they come up like, oh, those are not real. No, if you keep up this kind of positive moving forward and you don't let yourself fall into like the messy emotions of it, then you're gonna make the same mistake. You're gonna make the same mistake. Actually, this feels like a continuance of past like relationships and stuff that fell apart. Like there's a lesson. It feels like a cycle. It feels like a cycle. It feels like a cycle, right? It feels like a cycle of, I don't know, you get into a situation, you having this hopefulness, you going in with this bright, big, optimistic, I hate to say like toxic, I'm going to call it toxic positivity attitude. You go in with that. Maybe you can't, it doesn't live up to that. Maybe you can't live up to that. Then the fantasy kind of crumble. I see distortion. The fantasy kind of crumble. The distortions start to go down, and then something else or somebody else looks shiny, and then you move on to that, and then you leave somebody heartbroken, and you bounce on to the next, and then the cycle kind of starts again, and you never stop with these shameful feelings, remorse, guilt, abandonment. That's what's coming up. Those are the things that you're avoiding, not sitting with, and you just move on kind of like to the next shiny thing, and then you just go with, well, you could say that I love that person, I love them all to death, but you're not dealing with the deepest stuff on the inside. So your heartbreak therapy, right, is to drop the mask, to drop the act, to drop the everything's going to be okay, everything's fine, everything happened for a reason. It's masking something, and it's not getting nervousness, anxiety, worry, fear, guilt, abandonment, remorsefulness, shame, resentment of yourself. These are the things that you are avoiding. These are very deep, big feelings, and I understand why you wouldn't want to like drop into them, but you have to let yourself drop into them. You're leaving a wake of hurt people. There's a lot of hurt people in who cross your path because you're not dealing with your own personal feelings. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's turning into a form of harm against yourself and against others. And you're not wrong for like, you're not wrong for seeing something and wanting hope, but here's the thing, you meet people and they may see you as a different version of yourself than the way you see yourself. They may perceive you different, right? And they get attached to the version of you, the hopeful version of you, the hopeful version that you would want to become. But then they're asking you to put in the work to be that version of yourself that you promised or you displayed, and you're not putting in that work. And then you just move on to the next person who sees you like that. And then they expect you to put in the work. They get attached, you get attached, and then they're waiting for you to put in the work to be the person like they see you as. And you like the reflection of yourself in their eyes. But then in order to keep that reflection, right? In order to keep it, you have to put in the work, and you're not putting in the work. I hope that makes sense. And then you're causing pain to yourself and to others. I'm gonna get a self-forgiveness card because there's a deeper wound. We're gonna get a little bit deeper, pile 3, because it's heartbreak therapy, of course. Chanting. 2 cards. Nobody got 2 cards. I'm going to read this for you. Chanting, my voice is heard. If you're new to chanting, you can start with learning to tone, and a sound for each chakra at first. Practice chanting on your own to gain a comfort level. Chanting. Look for the fairies. They didn't give a lot of. They didn't give a lot of description. Chanting. All right. Look for fairies. Keep your eyes and ears open for evidence of fairies and other internal beings. Remember, they are generally all around you and brimming with creative ideas and guidance to help you on your journey. You just have to tune to their presence, but first you have to believe that they exist. Whatever we focus on and put energy towards will shape our life and our experience. The magic surrounding us can typically be seen by those only in a state of joy, looking at the world through the eyes of a child and open to infinite possibilities. Soften your gaze when you're outside in nature and keep aware of what you spy in your peripheral. Pile number 3. Look out for chanting and fairies. I'm going to put some more tarot cards for these. Okay, 10 of Cups in reverse. All right, chanting and looking out for fairies. Pile number 3. You lost something. Come on, it hurt. You lost something and it hurt bad. You have to feel it. 10 of Cups in reverse and a Tower. Something fell apart. Something crumbled. The foundation broke. The toxic positivity is, I'm just getting like someone who's still like the building is burning, someone who's still like trying to dance and put on a performance. It's time to let it go. What you have to do, you have to fall into despair. Allow yourself to fall into despair. Falling into despair and hitting rock bottom is way better than trying to keep this false high. This heartbreak, yes, this is part of a cycle, and this has definitely been building up. I could feel the devastation of this. It came in like with the more, but as we're getting deeper and further into this reading, I could feel the pain of this situation. And it's okay if you don't have no hope for a little while. It's okay if you don't have no hope. I think that's all part of life. That's all part of heartbreak. Maybe you give yourself a day where you don't have no hope, and you're not keeping up, using all this energy to keep up this fake persona that you're okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's draining you and it's hurting you more than you even realize. The chanting, I get it. That vibration, it's gonna help loosen up and open up some stuff for you. Let's give you a self-forgiveness card because you need it. Pile number 3. Why are you so afraid to fall apart? I think you watch other people fall apart. Why are you so afraid to fall apart? Have you lost control of emotions before? I don't know. There's no cups here either. Oh no, 10 of Cups. You're not emotionally fulfilled. Yeah, come on. Let's go. I like my cards to pop out. That's not enough. Alright, Spirit says, take the one you got, girl. forgive myself for thinking that in order to be successful, I must sacrifice rest. I choose to believe that rest is an important element of productivity and allows me to reconnect with my passion and move forward in honor of it. All right, pile number 3. It's time to, this is your therapy. It's time to drop the mask. It's time to drop the mask of the person moving on so good, positive, everything happens for a reason, I'm going to get through this, everything's okay. It's time to sit with the hurt and the pain. It's time to sit with your own hurt and pain. It's time to sit with the hurt and pain you have caused others. It's time to sit in a way where it's time to sit down and say, hey, where has this not benefited from me? Where has holding on to this, carrying this, where have this led me astray? Why am I holding on to this? I'm in deep, deep, deep pain. It's time to acknowledge your pain. It's time to acknowledge the hurt. It's time to acknowledge the shame and the guilt. It's time to face your abandonment wounds. It's time to face the feeling. And it's going to fucking suck. It ain't going to be fun. It's not supposed to be fun. It ain't going to be fun. It's going to fucking suck. And as soon as you feel yourself slipping back into that, well, let yourself lose some hopefulness. And I'm not saying hopefulness like that thing, because things can get better. Things can get better. So I'm not saying for you to give up hope, but I need you to give up this false sense of hopefulness that keeps you in this cycle. The next person you meet or you come across, you can't give them this toxic, you have to give them the real you. And until you sit down and feel and deal with and really get to know the real you, whatever you're offering is not real, and it'll fall apart again and again and again. Until you learn from your pain in the past, you're doomed to repeat it. And that's the cycle. This cycle is not done. This cycle is not done until you take accountability. The cycle is not done until you can sit with it. The cycle's not done until you go deep and you go through your past and you go through your trauma and you go through your family line and you find out what is even the cause of this action and behavior, and then you bring it to light and then you heal it. But until you do that, pile number 3, this cycle is not over. This pain is yours. And you get to do with it what you want. All right, pile 3, that's what I see for you. Sorry for your loss. Like I said, it's not going to be fucking fun. It's going to suck and it's going to hurt. But what at the end of this is a healed version of you that I know you cannot wait to meet. I know you want to meet this version. I want to meet this version. The fantasy that you have with people, the highest version of your relationships and stuff. Maybe you'll never get there, of course, but you can start to take the steps, and it starts with just you. All right, pile 3, thank you for trusting me to read for you. Thank you for clicking on my channel. I hope to see you again, and you have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, and night.